All right. Good morning once again. It's confirmed if you can hear me.
I can hear you, sir. Yes, we can
All
hear
right.
you.
So we have to start. I believe they will join us in between. So okay, let me not bother us with that because I know we have not really done any much practical. So our last, and that was the first class in Power BI. We talked about the general introduction to Power BI, where we looked at the definition, what is Power BI, and we defined Power BI as Microsoft's Office or corporation application designed mainly for data analysis and visualization. We also talk about some of its advantages over other data analytics tools. Some of the key features that we discussed were that Power BI has a lot of analysis models and it can allow us to connect to multiple data sources. And then particularly the Power BI service version allows us to collaborate and share our dashboard. So we discuss all of this in that section. And then we also looked at how do we install it. And then the installation aspect got us to know that there are two versions of Power BI. We have the desktop version, which is an open source, which means that it is free to download on the internet. We also talk about the service version, which is the one you have to subscribe, even as an organization, before you can actually use. And then we also talk about how do we access it on our computer once it has been installed. I think that was exactly what we did. If there's anything you feel that uh, we did not do part of what I've explained, please kindly speak out. I think basically that was what we discussed in summary, right?
Yes, yes.
We have not done any practical now. All right, so
No, just the introduction.
okay, so in this session, we are going to be focusing on two topics. The first one is we will familiarize ourselves with the Power BI interface. In other words, we are going to start with understanding the application interface, identifying each of the parts so that when we start exploring the functions, we know where we can access what. And then we are also going to learn how to load data into the application. And then if possible, we look at some data cleaning techniques while you are loading data into the Power BI. So let's quickly start with the Power BI interface explanation. Power BI interface explanation. Power BI interface explanation. So we are starting with this topic. Now, actually, when you are loading Power BI, the interface we are right now is not the final destination. So this interface is just a startup page or a startup interface. Just like when you were loading Microsoft Excel, there was a startup interface that was given to you before you were able to choose where exactly you are going. So the same thing applicable to Power BI. When you are starting it for the first time, this is an environment you'll be brought to. And then I'm going to start by explaining this environment to us. As you can see here, we have the home, we have the open. Supposing you have a project, you have a particular project you are still analyzing, but you have not actually concluded it. So as you are coming in, you can just click on open, and that will redirect you to the system storage for you to call up the project. And then of course, we are currently in home. That is why we are seeing the whole of this. And then in case you register, maybe you are running the licensed version of Power BI, you can what? Sign in via this link. Now, all these are different data gateway, like we talked about last time. These are different channels where you can access data from. So their shortcuts are created here for you, just in case you want to quickly dive into any of them before you even access the analysis dashboard. Now, for the fact that we are going in for the first time, so we're going to click on blank report. Blank report. So once you click on blank report, that will finally walk you into the Power BI environment. So where we are right now is the Power BI interface. All right, so from here we can now start understanding the features that makes up this interface. Just like we have already known before now, all applications will always present a management interface, which we call the user interface of an app. Every app developer will always provide an interface for users to communicate with the app effectively. So that is what we have here. So I'm going to start by identifying the part from the top. So the very first part you can see here, I believe you can see the section I am navigating at. Please let me confirm if you can see the section I am navigating at. Can anybody see it? Please, quick response.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the whole of this session is called the application title bar. The application title bar explains certain things to you and I, displays certain information to you and I. One of the information it constitutes is the name of your dashboard. So currently, I have not given it a name. That is why it's showing on title. All right, so the moment I go to file now, for example, and then I select what? Save as, and then it prompts out possible storages where I can store my work. So by default, it has already programmed my storage to be document. So I can decide to say, no, I'm not saving in document. I want to browse somewhere else. So you click on this browse this device, and that will avail to you different options. So I can say, okay, I want to store it on desktop. So I'll choose desktop. And then after that, I will simply enter the name of my dashboard. So if I'm using this dashboard to analyze data for a specific client or customer, so I'll name it after that person's name so that will help me to identify it. So let's say this is Saturday. It helped me to take note of this name so that next week I won't be looking for it. Saturday data analytics. Let me join them together. Analytics class. Now, after imputing the name of your dashboard or the name of your workspace, you need to also specify the file type. The file type of Power BI can be in three forms. We have the first one, which has been set as default, which is a Power BI file. That is a .pbis. We have .pbit, we have .pbip. These are available file extensions that can be used to save Power BI. So I'm going to go with the default, which is what? This. And then I click on save. So the moment I have successfully saved, you are going to see that this particular place that is showing on title is going to update. So let's hold on for it. So you can see that what it has updated, and that is what I wanted us to understand first. Now, we are still explaining the Power BI environment. So we are trying to get ourselves familiar with the environment so that whenever we are here, we understand where features, where functions can be easily accessed. Now, still on the application title bar, we have another part of it here, which is almost the same with Excel. So these are control buttons. Remember, like what we have been taught before, control buttons are on an application. They are design buttons created to coordinate the application. For example, we have the minimize button, which allow us to take off temporarily the entire Power BI interface, but it will still be accessed on the taskbar. And then we have the next button, which is playing two roles. The first role is playing is what? To restore. That is to reduce the size. While the second rule is to maximize, just like what we have learned before now. So just give me a few minutes. While we are waiting for Mrs. Jane to join back. Okay, so remember we are still talking about the interface. So I'll still breaking down the title bar. We have the sign in here in case you want to. Maybe you have the license version or you are running the service version, you want to log in, you can use this option. Then we have the close button. Like I told us, it's just like Microsoft Excel. So if you are familiar with Excel, understanding this button shouldn't be an issue. So let's look at the next part. The next section is the tabs. The whole of this part, they are referred to as tabs or menu in some cases. So how do we define their roles? So the tabs are like the containers that holds different functions. So when you are analyzing data with Power BI, have it at the back of your mind that all these are containers of different commands. All right, so for now, let's just know them to be containers of commands. So example of them, we have the File tab, we have the Home tab, we have the Insight tab, we have the Modeling tab, we have the View tab, we have the Optimize, then we have the Head tab. Now, and you will notice that each time you touch or you click on any of the tab, the content here changes. So that is why we refer to this particular section where the content changes when a tab is selected as the properties bar. So we can as well say that the whole of this section is tab property bar, which means that it is designed to display or to preview the content of any selected tab, just like the way we learned it in Excel. So which means that as we exploit these options, these tabs, we should always pay attention to what is coming out from this section. So that is for that section. The next part is the whole of this part here. So the whole of this part is known as the dashboard, which is your direct working environment, just like a page in Word, just like the worksheet in Excel. That is why it's surrounded with this word dotted. point, which means that your dashboard is meant to be here. So when we start analyzing all the insights that we are going to be drawing from the data set, will be presented in our dashboard with the help of those what models. Remember, I told us in our last class that models means structures used in presenting our findings, presenting our discoveries, what we pulled out from the data, the insights we have gotten from the data, that at the end of the day, we form the dashboard. Remember, in that session, I also told us that a dashboard is a kind of interface, a dedicated interface that collates or that collate all your findings in different models. And I make use of certain terms that we must understand, particularly when you are using Power BI to analyze data, that your dashboard must be interactive, your dashboard must be what? Dynamic. So which means that the dashboard constitutes different reporting models that are connected, all right? In other words, that listen to the other model. So for example, if I have done a particular analysis on a particular model, if it changes its value, the value of that model changes, should be able to what? Affect the next model. That is what makes your dashboard interactive. And what makes it dynamic is that the model content changes per time, depending on how you program it to be regulated. Please let me get a response if we are following and my audio is good. Please, let's do that very
Yes,
fast.
so yes.
Okay, okay. Now, so the whole of this place is your dashboard. For now, just know it to be where you are going to assemble all the models that will be presenting to us different what insights that could help you to, put your executive report together that can be handed over to the stakeholder to guide them in terms of making decisions. So remember, this is the title bar, this is the tab bar, why this is your dashboard or your workspace. Now, let's talk about this section. Let me talk about this section for a while. Let me talk about this section. Now, the whole of this section you are seeing here, let me separate it. We have it broken into segments. We have the filter. It can be collapsed and expanded. Look at this. Right now, I just expanded the filter section. So which means that I can also what? Collapse it. I can even say what? It should be what? It should be deactivated for now. All right. So you can collapse and what? Expand the filter section. Now, what is the role of the filter? Now, remember in Microsoft Excel, we talk about filter. Filter is one of the most used techniques when it comes to data selection techniques. But for now, we may not be able to understand its role until we have model analyzing data here, so that by that time we can say, okay, filter only record from a certain what location. So just bear it, just know it at the back of your mind that after you have put some analysis in place, you can filter directly using the traditional filtering word command. So I'll collapse it. The next section is the visualizations. Visualization. You see, all these are called visualizations. This is one of the reason why Power BI seems to be the most used data analytics tool, particularly for data visualization, because it has a lot of models. Remember, models are structures used to present our findings. So which means that all these are different structures that can be used to present your findings. So once we are done with all of this explanation and we have concluded the data cleaning, by the time we start performing analysis, we are going to understand all of these models, how we can use them to model insights, how we can use them to model reports from our data, how we can use them to model insights from our data sets. So that will be the focus, understanding them. As a matter of fact, you cannot claim that you know Power BI without knowing how to use the model to draw different insights from a given data set. So I can control that section. In other words, I can collapse it. I can also expand it. The next section, which is very, very important, every Power BI data analyst must understand, is this section, which is the data section. Let me expand it here. So the data section is where you can preview all the data you have loaded here you want to analyze. All the data you have loaded here you want to analyze. So one of the beauty of this, like I told us the other time, is that it gives us access to multiple gateway, which means we can insert data, we can load data from different locations into what? Power BI. All right. So once you load a data set, it's going to appear here. So all the data sets you must have loaded will be listed here. So you can expand to see their fields or their objects or the headers. And then if you want to view the content, you can view it here. So once we look at that topic on how to load data here, that will enable us to understand it better. But for now, we just want to understand the various units. Sorry, please. Okay. Mrs. Soikos is out. Please, let's give her a few minutes. And please also help me to remind them again in the group that the class is still going on, please. Mrs. Jane.
Okay.
Okay, so like I was explaining, this is the data section where you have the display of the data loaded into Power BI. So let's look at another section that is very also important. Remember, we are still trying to familiarize ourselves with the environment before we go into data loading. Now, the next section is the whole of this section, which is called the view panel, or the view pane, right? So let's start with the first view. Now, the view panel constitute different viewing methods. For example, by default, when you load Power BI, you are already at this view method, which is called report view. So if I have loaded a data set somewhere here, let's assume that I have loaded a data set here. I will only be seeing the headers, the features in that data. I'm not going to be seeing the values. So for me to see the values, I will then click on that and then switch to what? Table. So in other words, table view allows us to view our data set in rows and columns, just like they were displayed in Excel. Now, you must know how to switch from report view after loading your data toward table view. Why? Because it enables you to understand the data so that you'll be able to draft your analysis questions. Because if you are using the report view, the only thing you can see is just the headers in the data set. And sometimes for us to be able to put our analysis questions together, we must understand the types of values under each of the column. So that is why you click on the data you must have loaded and then switch to what? Table view. And then you have the record or the data set splitted in columns and what? Rows. Then the next one is the model. The model is talking about the table itself is a model. You need to understand your data set that comes in form of a table is a model. It's a model. That is why I think one of the classes I told us that we have two major models for modeling data or modeling report. Either is a tabular model, which is a two-dimensional array, or a graphical word model using graph or chart to present your insight. Now, in this context here, when we say what model view, we are talking about the relationship, the cardinality, how one data set relates with other. What is the degree of their relationship? By the time we have loaded, let's say, two different sales inventory here, maybe the customer data is loaded with what? About some headers, and then we have the sales data with some headers that are common to the first one. Then maybe you load the third one, which is like inventory for sales or to purchase, which also has some common header with either the first one or the second one. So which means that there will be some relationship, there will be some connection between these three data. Because in the customer data that is capturing their basic information, you are going to have customer names there. You are going to have maybe their gender. You are going to have maybe the location, which could be state or country. And then you are going to have the name of the product, maybe product ID or product name, which means in that particular table, you mention product name and product ID just to indicate the type of product they purchase. Now you now have another table, which is your sales table, or maybe sales data, where you have captured what? Maybe the customer name, the custom, okay, let's take it this way. Let's say you have another table, which is the table for record to purchase. That is what products you want to buy from your supplier, while the other one is constitutes the products you are selling to your customer. That's why we have customer name there. We have the agenda, we have the product name, and then we have probably the quantity, and then we have the sales price. Now, in this other data, which constitutes what? Information about buying products from your vendors, has vendors ID, vendors name, product ID. Now you can see what I'm talking about now. The other data has product name, product ID, which define the product ID the customers are buying, define the product name the customers are buying. Now this other data also has product name, product ID, but the purpose are different. In this other data, the product name states the name of the product you want to buy from your vendor. The product ID also represents what? The identification of the product you want to buy from your vendor and sell to your customer. Now, if I load in these two data sets in Power BI, there are going to be what? Cardinality. That cardinality means what? There will be what? Relationship, which can be one-to-one relationship, or one-to-many relationship, or many-to-many relationship. So like that table that I mentioned now, let's say this is the first table. I just want us to understand this. And here I have maybe dates. Here I have product what? ID. So let's say here I have a product what? Name. Then here I have quantity. Then I have another data set here. So this one is says what? Data. Let's assume. This one is sales data. Why this one is what? Inventory. Inventory data. This one is inventory data. Now, the inventory data, we have what? Vendor ID here. We have vendor's name. Don't mind my writing. Then we have products. We have product ID. And then we also have products. We also have product. We have product name. And then we have quantity as well. We have quantity as well. Now, what we are simply saying is that you have quantity here. In both data, we have common what? Attributes. We also have product name here that is connecting. We have product ID that is connecting. Now, if I load these two data here, and I go to, if I load these two data here, and I go to that, and I go to model, and I go to the table view, sorry, model, I am going to see this connection, telling me that what? This particular table has relationship with this. Why? Because they both have common what? Features. Let me get a response if somebody understands this illustration. Because once we start bringing data here, we'll be coming here, you'll be seeing whether there is connection between data A and data B. Let me hear from you, Jane. Hope all is clear.
Yeah, so
Okay. Now, what we are calling cardinality here now is this. Cardinality is that this particular product name, I will just want to relate it to one feature against another feature in the second table. What is cardinality between product name and the product name here? Now, the cardinality here is that we can have one product. If we have one product here that is related to 5 products here, that is 1 to what? Many. Cardinality. We have one product here that is related to many products. For example, you have a picnic product here, and you have other products of what? Picnic, like additional 5 of them. So which means that what? The cardinality of picnic here is what? One picnic here product is connected to many products of what? Picnic. That is 1 to many. Now, if we have one picnic here connecting to one picnic here, that is 1 to 1. All right? So that is what we mean by what? Cardinality of data. All right? So with that explanation, now we can understand what we are talking about. Okay, so that is just to explain this particular view. Now, this one is called task query view. Remember from our last introduction class, I mentioned the word DAS as what? Data analytics expression. Is one of the, or is the data language Power BI uses in writing the function for analyzing data. I believe you can still remember that. All right, so we are not going to talk about that. So our major view are 1, report view, the table view, and the model view. This one is like an engine that works at the background, the language that helps us to create function for analyzing our data. So why this one is another view, which is talking about a view is a rich code. They just added this actually. So I don't think that is a feature that we can access using the free version, but you can see that it's taking us to a different environment where you can write maybe develop code. All right. So now remember the three major views are report view, table view, and this view. So I'll pause and ask if there's any question on what I've explained so far before I explain, or let me just explain the last part. Then I'll give room for question before we look at data loading system. Now, the last view or the last component of Power BI we need to understand is this particular section, this last section here. Now, remember we mentioned it in the last class, that one of the advantage of using Power BI is that it has mobile and desktop or computer view. So by default, we are already on laptop view. Then we can switch from laptop view to mobile view, and then you will see how your report can be displayed on a mobile. Remember, I also told us that the mobile view can only be used to read. You cannot use it to work. All right. So let's assume that as a data analyst, you are analyzing data for someone and the person decides to see what you are doing, particularly if you are using the Power BI service version live while on transit. The person can go to his phone, go to Play Store, download Power BI mobile, and be able to view your reports as you are analyzing. But he or she cannot actually change he cannot create the report. All right. Now, the still on that particular component, we have this as our status bar, where we can add more dashboard or pages. Now, the way it works, considering the fact that the given dashboard appears so very small, you are not expected to compress all your analysis questions in one dashboard. You can split them. We are going to learn how we can create connecting button, how we can create a button that, okay, let's assume after you have probably after you have explained all the model in a particular dashboard and you want to extend to another one, you can click a button and the button will take you to the next dashboard. So which means that we can click on this plus icon to create more pages, which can as well serve as dashboard. So I can come here and double click to name it. I can say this represents maybe all my insights. So I'm going to use this. Just to be writing my findings in words, which is going to be the executive report. Now I can say, okay, my analysis dashboard starts here. So I can say this is I'm just double clicking to rename it. Once you double click, you can even use your backspace key to delete. So let's say this one is dashboard 1. So you can also do the same. So you can also determine how big you want to view the dashboard area or how small you want to view the dashboard area. Any question, please, before we look at the next topic? Remember, I told us I'm focusing on 2 topics, familiarizing us with the Power BI interface and loading and part of data cleaning. Any questions so far on what we have explained so far? Question, please, if there is.
No question from me, but what I want to understand, when you click on file, my network got lost that time. Assuming you are having recent work in your dashboard. If you want to start with new file and say a new different file, how will you go about it? That
Yes,
part,
yes,
I didn't
yes.
get it.
When you are coming in, you are going to be prompted to this environment. All right, so if you
Yes.
want to start a new one, what you do is that you click on blank report. That's what I told us. You click on blank report, and that will take you to an empty interface like this. Then if you have your report that you are already modeling, then you go to open and then select the name, and that will open with what you have already done before. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Okay, if you don't have reports, that part is what I don't understand.
You don't have any report, you click on blank report. That's what I'm saying. Can you get that now? You don't have
Yes.
any report. You don't need to ask for an existing dashboard. You click on blank. Blank means empty. Just like when you click
Okay.
on blank, blank brings you to this place. So you are starting afresh or from scratch. That's what it means. But if you have an existing report, you go to open. That is why when I was teaching us how to save, you will have taken note of where you are saving. So that by the time you click on open here like this, it will tell you, okay, where do you have the file? If you have it, if it's not showing here, like now, my own is showing here already because it's a recent saved file. But in case your own does not show here, you go to browse this device, and that will take you to maybe the list of the computer storage like desktop, document, and other folders that you must have created. So from there, you can locate the name of your file and then click on it, and then it will open to Power BI with that content. I hope I've clarified that. Is that clear to
The
you?
new file, if you want to save it, after clicking on the blank, then what's
Yes.
next? That part is what I want to understand.
After clicking on the blank like this, let me go back again.
Mm.
Let me go back again. I've clicked on it now, waiting for it to open. So after clicking on the blank, it's going to prompt you here. It's still loading. After clicking on the blank, you go to file and select save as. That is all. Go to file
Okay.
and select save as. And then to prompt you, where do you want to save? Then you can save.
Okay.
Let me just hold on for a
Thank you,
minute.
sir.
Let me hold on and keep this we open so that we can start it together. All right. I hope you can see it now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you do now, you now go to file. Now, so that you're showing untitled, you now go to file. You now select save as. They do not ask you, this is where I saved last time. So I will now say, okay, maybe I don't want to save here. I will now go to browse. And then from browse, let's see what we are going to see now. From browse, it will prompt you different storages. Then you choose the one and like this. So maybe you have a folder that you have created, just like when we were working with Python then. You have a folder where you want to store this. So you click on the name of that folder and then you leave it at this default extension, like I told you. Then you click on save. I hope that is clear now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so the next topic is data loading in Power BI. This we can write data loading in Power BI. Data loading in Power BI. Let's look at that. Data loading in Power BI. Now, what do we mean by data loading? Remember that when we started, we did mention that one of the advantage of Power BI is that it allows us to load data from different sources. Do we still remember that? That we can load data from web, we can load data from database, we can load data from Excel, we can load data from even cloud, provided we have access to those domains. We discussed all of this, and that is the aspect we are going into now. So once you are familiar with the Power BI environment, the next thing is for you to know how to load data into it so that we can start seeing them here. So we are going to start with how to load Excel worksheet data. So I'm going to load two different data just to show us how to go about it, because these are the most used data that we load into Power BI. Most of the data we are given to analyze, if they are not in CSV format, definitely will be in what? SQL or in Excel format. So how do we load Excel data into Power BI? Step number one, we go to Home tab. I expect us to be taking note of our steps depending on when the video will get to you. Is whenever you are attending any class from now, always have your writing material around you. Write all the necessary things you need to write, because the video may not get to us on time. We all know that we are having light issue now in our server. So sometimes it might take time before I upload. So now you click on Home tab. From Home tab, you go to Get Data. Now, as soon as you click on Get Data, you will see the list of various locations where or sources where you can get data from, as one of the advantage of this program. You can access all of these if you are using Excel. You don't have access to multiple storage. Now, remember I said we are looking at how do we, if we are given a data set that was computed in Excel format, how do we load it here? Which gateway should I follow? Because these are like different gateways. So for Excel, you click on Import Data from Microsoft Excel Workbook, which is this option. Now, that will prompt us a dialog box asking us to choose where do you have the data. So which means that you must have identified where your Excel file are located within your system. So in this case, I have a folder on desktop which is called My Raw Data. So I will just double click to open it, and then this particular folder you are seeing has a Excel file inside it, also with CSV. But as you can see, it's only viewing or showing the one stored in Excel format. So in case it happened to you, there shouldn't be cause for alarm that, maybe I have other file, what happened to them? The reason why you are seeing these ones, because these are the ones that meet the criteria of the gateway you are following. So I have Amazon and I have what? Salary. So let me click on Amazon and see what I have there. So your next step, you select the data you want to load, and then you click on Open, and then you will now notice that Power BI will try to establish connection. After some time, you get a message on the screen that say, I am connecting to that word domain. So you hold on. So you have to wait while this is going on. It's still connecting. Just have to be patient. Now you can see connecting. Please wait while establish a connection. So it's trying to contact that particular file. So once it's able to establish connection, it's going to tell you, it's going to preview that particular data for you to look at if that is exactly what you want to load. Now, when it opens like this, please, when it opens like this, it means the data you are trying to connect to is splitted into different sheets. We have one probably in sheet 1. You have another one in what sheet named what Amazon data. Now, all you need to do is to tap any of these to see what you have in them. So once you can see what you are looking for, then you go ahead and load that particular one. So if I tap here to see what I have, it's going to preview it. Now you can say that this is what you have here. So you preview, you look at it. You can scroll to check if this is exactly the data you want to load. Now, I think this is the data I want to load. So once you have confirmed that, I can also say, okay, I want to check this. Let me check what I have here. I think this one also have the same data. So which means that I have that data in 2 different sheets. So I can choose to load any one. But the standard is that when you get here, you are supposed to understand your data briefly by what? Scrolling and checking. All right. So once you confirm that, now you click on load. You click on load. Because I am going to take data cleaning separately. That is why I don't want to talk about what? Transform and data. So transform data is when maybe after, as you are checking the data, you now discover that there are a lot of errors. We have a lot of missing value. We have a lot of formats that are not in the right order. Then I can say instead of loading the wrong data or the erroneous data or the data with error, I will say, hold on a bit. Let me redirect it to one of the Power BI components, which I mentioned in our previous class, which I called the Power BI word query. So now, but for now, my focus is not on cleaning the data. My focus is just teaching you how you can load the data into Power BI. How you can load it, whether it is corrupt or it is clean. What we are learning right now is how do we load Excel data format into Power BI. So once you have previewed the data briefly, you click on load. So the moment you click on load, you now pay attention to the data section, because that is where you will now be able to view the list of the data you have loaded. So I'm getting an error here. So I'll try to understand or give it some time. What is the error saying? See, there are pending changes in your query. There are pending changes in your query that have not been applied. I will just say, okay, apply those changes or discard. All right. But even at that, if I see that my loading is still on, then I can still leave it. So which means that there are some things that I did that is trying to acknowledge. There are some things that I did that is trying to acknowledge. So I can say, don't mind those things or continue with those changes. So I'm going to click on this when it finishes loading. So you can see that it's giving us a sign that it's receiving content. I hope we are following, please. So the time it will take depends on your system speed and the volume of the file. If you are loading like 5 record table here, it will have finished the process. So you still have to be patient to wait. So it's going to give you a notification that so number of record has been loaded. And then by that time, you'll be able to see the name of that data here. All right, so as you can see, there are 100 rows loaded. So I can exit, but I'm here to see the data here. That is why I'm still waiting. So if you have your Power BI installed, please giving us a few minutes to do the same, and then I will come on your screen to check before I proceed. Kindly load Excel data in your Power BI. Please, everybody, we can do that. I know we have installed the Power BI since our last class, so everybody should have it installed. So load data into it. Excel data, please. Once you have done that, kindly notify us. So at least I can see the data, but it's still performing some operations at the background. So you still have to wait until we are no longer seeing this information.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, welcome.
Thank you. Please refresh more for my sake.
You said?
Please refresh a little for my sake so I can be able to follow. Please, I don't keep late.
Please, let's keep to our time, please. Let's keep to our time. We are having this class almost once in a week. We should plan ahead. So while I'm waiting for Mrs. Oyikosi that I've been following from the beginning and the informal Jane to load their data here, please, once you guys are ready, you let me know. Let me just explain briefly just from the practical aspects. So every other part, when you get the video, you look at it. Now, what we are learning that you met us is we have concluded explaining the whole of this interface, all the sections. We have identified them and we have also defined their roles. And then the steps you met us was how do we load Excel data? So we are looking at the topic, which is loading data into Excel, into Power BI. Before we can analyze any form of given data, we must know how to bring it here. And we just started with the first one, which is loading a Excel file. And I said to load a Excel file, after you have opened your Power BI, you go to Home tab. Then after you have clicked on the Home tab, you click on Get Data. And then you click on this option that says Excel Workbook. And then when you click on it, a dialog box will be prompted like this. And then you now locate where you have it. Let's assume we have the folder holding this Excel file on desktop or in document or any other folder. You click on that storage. Like in our own case, I have the data in my raw data. So I open it and then we selected this one, that this is the data we want to load, and click on open. So that is how we loaded this data. I hope that is clear now. So let's assume that I want to load the second one so that you can see the entire process again. Because you can actually load unlimited data here. So I'll click on this one and then select open. And then you give it some time to connect to that domain to establish it. Now it has already established it. And then it means that the particular sheets, the particular workbook that I want to get the data from has two sheets with different data. This one is where we have the analysis. So you can just click here to preview so you can see why you are seeing all this no, because this is a sheet where you have assembled all your findings. But let me click here. I guess this is where, this is where I have the raw data. So, and I said you have to scroll, check if this is exactly what you want to load. And once you have confirmed that, then you click on load. And then after that, you wait for the data to be listed here. You can see this one is going to be faster. Within a few seconds, we have loaded it here. I believe okay now. So you can go ahead and load your data also. I hope it's clear to you, Angie.
It's clear, but I believe, is it a particular data that we are loading?
No. You have any data, load it. You should have data.
Okay.
If you don't have, go to cargo and download. But just what we are learning is just how do we load Excel data. So if you don't
Okay.
have Excel data, if you have CSV, you have been taught in Excel, open the CSV, save it as Excel workbook, then load it. So I'm waiting, Mrs. Oyikosi, Alpha, and Jane. Hope we have completed the task so that we can proceed, please. Have we? You
Can you
can
see
go
me
ahead.
now?
Yes, I can't see you. Just share. I think it should be coming up.
I've shared it.
Just hold on. If it doesn't come up, you can reshare. It's coming up now. It's coming. Okay, just cancel it, please. Cancel this message. Good. Cancel it.
Import data from Excel.
Yes,
I clicked on blank. I click on blank.
yes, you are correct. You are correct. No, go to get data. Don't click there direct. Let's follow the procedure. Go to get data. Go to get data. Look at it there now. Get data. Get data.
I know.
Can you,
I will delete it.
once you can see get data, yes,
Yeah.
click on it. Yes, click on it. Hold on. Now, select the first option. No,
All five.
from your right
Okay.
answer.
Excel
Yeah,
worksheet.
yes. Click on it. You are already there. Yeah, click. Then click on connect. Okay, just hold on. It's coming. Now locate that your folder where you have the Excel file. Want to spoil our recording, Abby? You came later. You are yawning, Abby.
This here. Okay.
I'm waiting for.
When I click and I'll click open.
You have to, yes, select enhance. Select any of the file, any of the data from this list. Click on one of them, the one you want to load.
I've been at this sales report. I've been at sales data. Answer. SSA worksheet authored by Aware. Okay, cool, it's fine. So I look at my screen.
Yes, now you have a lot of tables under that particular sheet. So just tap on them and preview it. Click on table 1, the check the
Okay.
box to view what you have under it. Once you have seen the one you want to load, you now click on load. Click on the check box. Click on the box, not there now. Look at the
Okay,
box
here.
beside it. Just check it and see. Hold on to preview what you have in that table. Or yeah, use the scroll bar to check whether this is the sheet. Scroll bar now from the preview section where you have a look at the horizontal scroll bar, not there, down from that one is the vertical one. Use the horizontal one also so you can see the end. Good. So this is just like you are examining the data to know if this is the data you want to load. Good. Or yeah, click on load. Click on load. Click on load. Click on load. Yes. And then you wait. Others, please. We're supposed to have done it now. Jane, is your all ready now? Mrs. Oikosi. Are we ready?
I've loaded. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mrs. Oikosi, Alpha, have you also loaded yours? NG, you can stop sharing. I think from here you should be able to know what to do. Once you conclude, I think you
Do I need to load another one,
no, just
please,
hold on.
before I? Okay.
After the next section, you can go back and load. I've just taught us how to load one format. So I'm about showing us how to load another format. So that one is just how you can load Excel data. I don't think Mrs. Oikos is here. So let's continue.
I'm done. I'm here.
Okay, all right. So so that is how to load Excel. So as a data analyst with Power BI, if anybody give you Excel data format to analyze, that is how you can load it. So let's quickly look at how to load CSV. Like I told us, we are just looking at two major formats that our data usually comes with. How to load CSV. Now, from Excel, what is CSV? Comma separated what? Value, comma separated value. So it's one of the most known data formats that is compatible with almost all the analysis tools. In Python, it goes with CSV. SQL go with CSV. Excel also can read CSV. So it's a wide known data format. So how do we load it? You go to that same get data. Now, this time around, you are going to consider text/CSV. I hope we are writing down our step. I said to load CSV data set, you go to get data, and then you select what? Text/CSV, text/CSV, and then that same thing, you can see that we were not having access to this data the other time because the gateway we follow cannot interpret what? CSV. Now, in that same folder, we have this, which CSV file. So I can say, okay, I want to load this one. I can just click on it, or I want to load this. So let me load this and then click on open as well. Click on open as well. Then after that, just like the same step that we follow now. So you can say for this one, we have none. So I'm deliberately loading this one so that when we get to the data cleaning aspect, we will know how to attend to this word none, which are error. And the error means what? There are empty cell without value. That is what it means. So now you click on load. So your next class work now is for you to also load, at least load two different CSV data, two different CSV data. So far, I have loaded what? I've loaded three different data sets. So when I come back, I will now come back to this view that I was explaining the other time. Now that we have data loaded, so you can start the classwork now. Load to CSV data.
What is get
Start
data?
loading another one so that I can follow you up. Oh yeah,
Okay, get data.
go to CSV.
CSV. Then let
Pick
me load
another
my
one.
data.
All those ones that came out, they are CSV. Oh, that is not where you are going. Okay, continue.
Mm, mm.
Continue. All right. Oh yeah. I thought I saw some list of data now.
If I click on those things, it don't used to appear. I don't know why.
Go back
See
there.
now.
Look
See.
at it. Go back there. Go back to where I saw the list of data sets now. Or if you cannot remember the folder, you can go back to that one you were before.
Is it here?
Yes. Are there no data?
There are.
Well, pick one. They are CSV. That is why you are seeing them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me click open now.
Yes. Click open. Click open. Let's see what.
Are you seeing it?
So this is a preview of the one you are about bringing. Then you click on load.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and click on load. The reason why it brought you here direct because it's a sheet with just that data.
Okay.
So you can see that if you check your data section now, you have two of them. So you can collapse and expand any one you want from your data
Okay.
section.
Okay.
Those one, the
Okay,
one you
because I was thinking that the first one will disappear.
no, it will not disappear. You can load as many data. NG, let's come on your screen and see what you are doing there before we proceed. Mrs. Oikosi, hope all is going well there. You can stop sharing, Mrs. Jane.
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
NG, have you done it? Have you
No,
been able to
sir.
convert? Oh yeah, share your screen, open one of your Excel file there. If you have forgotten how to convert to CSV, let's quickly show you. Some
Okay, I'm
people,
coming.
some people are eating too much eba. Oh
Wait.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Share your screen. Let's help you
Okay.
out. Okay, I think we are beginning to see it now. Okay, now, are this file not CSV? Are you saying they are not CSV? NG.
It's not showing CSV now.
Wait, go back to your Power BI.
Sir?
Go back to your Power BI. Just leave this place. Go back to your Power BI. Open your Power BI.
Sir?
Open your Power BI. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Go to Power
Yes,
BI.
sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, oh yeah, click on Get Data. Click on Get Data. Oh yeah, click on CSV. Test/CSV. Click on it. Just hold on. Now, listen. In as much you click on CSV and you are able to see any value, you're able to see this name, it means they are CSV compatible file. So you don't need to bother whether it's written CSV.
Okay.
If they are not CSV, you will not able to see them. All the one in Excel, they are not here. So just pick one. Pick one. Let's say you are picking the first one
Okay.
and click open. So let's
Open.
hold on to see. Hold on. Perfect. So you click on load. Click on load. Click on load. Have you selected load? Click on load.
Loading. Loading.
Okay, maybe my network is behind. Click on load. Oh, I don't think it's network. Oh. Are you sure you have selected load? Okay, I think it's
It
going now. Yes, yes. Don't worry.
it has loaded already.
Okay. So you can stop sharing now. So that is how to
So
do. You can stop sharing now.
you said we should get how
You can stop sharing now. Your network is
many
breaking. So At least we have loaded Mr. Ikosi, you say you are good. The good you are. Is it that you have loaded your data? Let me be sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now let's look at the course of time. Let's look at a few things that are remaining. So probably in our next class, we'll focus on data cleaning. It's a full topic that we cannot start within the next few minutes and complete. So what we will end up learning today is how at least we have been able to understand the Power BI window features, and then we have also learned how to load different data sets. So supposing you are working with an organization, that organization can tell you that they have their data in web, they have their data somewhere else. You can even exploit more places. If I go to more now, I should be able to see more places. Maybe the data set are in a specific folder in the cloud or in SQL server database. So the only thing you need, any company that have their data outside these two that we have mentioned, all you need, for example, if I try following this now and I click on connect, it's going to prompt me a test box where I will log in. So they are going to give you the server. They are also going to give you the name of the database before you can connect. So any other gateway that they will ask you to collect data from, the company itself will give you the sign-in details. All right, so that settles how to load data from different parts. All right, I hope that is clear. Now, there is something I wanted to show us. There's
No,
something I explained. Sorry,
it's not clear.
what aspect is not?
Rephrase.
So, like I said, I was only trying to explain that today now we have learned how to import or how to get data from two places. One is Excel, one is CSV. Now, these other places, you cannot insert data from them without having access to the login details. So if, for example, any company you are working with that will tell you that, okay, from Power BI, connect to our data. For example, if it is a data set that is stored in their database, let me expand it and show us more. Let's say their data stored in a database, which could be SQL database, or it could be Microsoft Access, or it could be Oracle database. What I am saying is that the only thing you will need to access such places is that when you click like this and click on connect, it's going to ask you for the login detail, the server. The company that is asking you to do this have this information. They will give it to you. You type their server here. They will give you their database. You type it here. Once you have typed it and click OK, that will take you to the folder where you have their data, just like the way you saw it when we did for CSV and Excel. Is that clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
So that is what I'm trying to explain, that because tomorrow if you are working, where they will ask you to bring data from may not be Excel, may not be CSV, may be their cloud, and they will tell you the gateway. Maybe the company cloud storage can be what? Dataverse. That may be their gateway. And they will give you the details to log in, because as soon as you click on that, you'll be asked to enter what? To sign in. So they'll provide you all these details. So it's not going to be a big deal. All right. So I just want to explain. Let me also confirm from other persons. Are we following? Jane, Mrs. Oikosi. Hope that explanation is also
Yes,
clear.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
oh, okay. So I just want to explain few things to us because the last time I was breaking down the interface explanation, there are some things I mentioned, and at that point we don't have data here, so I couldn't conclude the explanation. For example, now we have three data, like that illustration I was giving. How do I know if there are some headings here that are common here, just like that illustration? So if I expand here now, the only thing you can view when you are using this data section is the headers in the data set. You can't view the value. For example, now I don't know what is recorded under followers. I don't know what is recorded under income. I don't know what is recorded under name, but I can only view the header. And please take note of this. Even though we cannot see the values, you should know the type of data you have under the header mere looking at some signs. For example, seeing this Sigma means that what you have number under this header. So by the time we open it now, we are going to see numbers. Seeing this it means that what you have number. Why this one that are not showing this, they are not number, they are text. So if I expand here now, I'll see the headers under it. And you can also see the ones that have what? Number. When I say number, it could be integer, which is whole number, or float, which is what? Double, as we have learned from Python. Now, uh, let's assume I want to write my analysis question. This is the point I was making the other time. You cannot expand it here and know that, okay, you are summarizing item type per what? Item type per maybe total profit. How do you know the kind of values under those headers you just mentioned? That is why, if you want to view the value, that is why you come to this table view. So the last time we click on it, we got an empty. But now that we have data we are selecting, let's say I'm on this data and I click here, watch what is going to happen. So this will preview that data the way it was previewed in Excel. And this will now allow you to be able to what? To draft, to understand, to study the data, which is our basic principle. That any data we are given to analyze, we must study it to understand it. If there are errors, we have to clean them, which will be our next focus, how to manage errors within a data set. So you can say that with this, I am able to view this data just like it was previewed or viewed in Excel. So from here, I can understand the data and say, okay, my analysis question is to summarize total profit per maybe 6 channel, summarize total profit based maybe per what? Item type. So when you are drafting your questions, you have to stay in this view. When you are done writing all your analysis question, then you cannot go back to the report view and start modeling your report. Remember, there is a sequence we are trending. The sequence is that we understand what Power BI is, we install it, and then we just finish explaining the environment, and then we just finish learning how to what to load different data formats in it. Now, the next class will now be if peradventure you have loaded data with errors. How do you now perfect it? That will be for the next class. Then we will now, after we have concluded that class, we can now say, okay, now that our data is free from errors, let us start analyzing. That is where we are going to be using this container, this structure, to present our insight, which will form our dynamic or interactive dashboard. Now, just as we're here, let's assume that you have finished previewing this. You want to preview customer, so you just move to customer, you preview what you have there, then you just move to data, you also preview what you have there. Now, the beauty of this is that you can load multiple data here such that you can perform cross analysis. What do I mean by cross analysis? I can multiply the header, the value, I can multiply value in a particular header by value in another header in a different data set because they are loaded in one container. So that is the benefit. That is the reason why Power BI gives us room to load multiple data, because it makes that possible with the assumption that you may want to perform what? Cross data what? Analysis. All right. So now let's look at this model that I was talking about. This is where I was talking about the cardinality. Is there any, when you expanded here now, for example, we have age, we have discount, we have education level, we have followers, we have income, we have name. By the time I expand this, do we have any common attributes? We have country. In fact, here we have age. So you can see that what age is the common word, a field in both. So let's check the relationship now. So if I click here now, you will see that what the whole data, the three of them are modeled. Can you see them now? Initially, when we came here, they were not here like this. But now that we have three different data sets, we can see them. And now we can now begin to say, okay, is there any relationship between this and this? Now, in as much we are not getting that, in as much we are not getting automatic relationship, but let's check here now. We have age here, we have age here. So if I click on this icon here, let's see what we get, which talk about what? Manage relationship. So just hold on, let it open. So when you click on manage relationship, it's talking about what? From which column? From which column? So now, from which column to which column? So if I click here now, let me click here and see. Right now we are getting what? There are no relationship defined. So you can click on this auto detect and see if that is going to detect relationship between data A and data B. So let's see the outcome of this. Most time we depend on this auto detect because it's more relied or found what? Relationship. So like I was telling us, admitting there is relationship between this and this other one, you will have been able to see a display of it here. All right. So at the moment, there are no what relationship. That is why we are not getting any connection. In fact, if you load data set that have relationship, you don't have to look for the relationship because you see it extending that connection icon, telling you that this is connected to this. But if I pick this one now, where is it? I think I was saying, I was saying, trying to look at, I thought we have age here and we have age. I'm looking for, thought I have age that time. Or was it not this? Okay, so no wonder there is no relationship. Okay, let me check here. For example, let's assume that you have country here and here you have country. So if you drag this one now and touch maybe somewhere here like this, let's see, you will see that it will have established relationship as I touch it. But it returned this because there is no relationship. As you can see, this relationship has cardinality what? Many to many. This should only be used if it is what? Expected that rather column item type are this. So if I say, okay, yeah, what it's telling you is that it has what? What did I drag that time? I think I drag a item type. So it's saying that it's many to many. So it could not establish it. So if you click on save now, let's see. I just want us to know how should, in case you identify the relationship yourself and is not able to identify it, as I drag it, can you see what happened? Can you see the establishment of this icon, which means that you manually on your own. So why I have to show you this one now is this. Let's say you come here and it's obvious that you have date here and you have date here, or you have age here, you have age, which means that what? There's relationship. Now, what you are going to do, what that will do is that when you are performing your analysis on this data, all the item type to what? To this what? Customer names that you have meshed together. In this case, we have just forced it just for us to know how to map it. So what I did now is called data mapping or relationship what? Mapping. So what it means is that in the data set, when I'm analyzing, all the values in customer and the one here now will become one. So anytime any one of them is repeated, will be deleted. There won't be duplicate. So which means you have automatically what? Combine all the values in this customer column and what? The item type. Remember, we just force it. So let's assume that I have region here, or maybe I have names here, and I have the same name repeated here. And I want to collapse them together to perform a single analysis. So I can drag this. Now, I want to also, before I drag again, before I create another relationship manually, I want to also point to this. You see this asterisk. When you see this asterisk from the first node to the last node, when you see this asterisk, it means many to many. Now, if you say only the asterisk here and you say only this here without saying this asterisk, it means that what? One to many. So let me map out another one. Let's say I am mapping this name to employee's name here. So you see that this one did not throw that error. There are common names. You can see that what? There's a relationship. That is why you see that we did not get that error. And it picked them. It's giving you the sample of the first one and the sample of the second what? Data. That yes, there are common names. There are names as in name. It's just that the description is different, but at least they can be mapped. So if I click on save now, let's check what we are going to see. Let's look at the mapping. Let's look at the mapping. So you can see it's now one to one, one to one. So that is what it's telling you, one to one, because each name there is related to what? Another name. Adibin, we have one name in this data set that, let's say we have Prosper in this data set, and in that other data set, we have 5 Prosper. Who can tell us what that relationship will be? In this data, we have 1 Prosper, and in the other data, we have 5 Prosper. Can somebody unmute and tell us what type of relationship or cardinality is that? From what I've explained so far. We have 1 Prosper here, and in this one, we have 5 Prosper. Okay, Angie, you want to say something? Go ahead.
You have that is one to many.
One
And
to
the
many.
ash you have one.
Yes, you have
Other
one to
side.
good. Yeah, you have one here. Then here, what icon will be here? What icon will be here? As Adibin is that case.
Asterisk.
It will be what? Asterisk. Good.
Asterisk.
That is what we are saying. So which means that if you are performing your analysis and you are working with the name here, it means that what? All the prosper here will be collapsed to what? One. That is what it's saying, because they are common. They are common. So let's check another one. We have sign up here, sign up dates. We have discount. So what I'm saying is that why Power BI was not able to detect them by itself, because here it is employees' names, while here is just name. So Adibin here is name and here is name. That time we came here, you will have seen this line established automatically. So the reason why Power BI could not decode it because the spellings are different, but you know that the content are the same. This one has names, this one has name. So that is when you will now manually map it which is what we're doing now, that yes, though the content are names which are the same, but with different labels. So that is why you have to know this manual mapping. So if I want to drag another one, if I try dragging region to discount, let's see whether you can see an error. So it's not compatible. It's not compatible. You can see cross filter direction. So you can come here and say, okay, single customer filter, and see whether any of this will meet the criteria. So that is how to map your data relationship if the program do not detect the relationship by itself. So that is what I was talking about between this view, the report view, the data view, the relationship view. Of course, I say this one is DAS, which is the language Power BI uses in writing analysis function. So this is where we now draw the curtain. So in our next class, please help me to write it down. We shall be looking at data cleaning. We will start data cleaning and finish it totally, so that we know that should be probably if we are able to meet on Monday as usual. Remember, Monday is just 1 hour. So if we can join on time, we can actually conclude it. So any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Do we have any question?
So I don't have question, although
Okay.
it's not too clear, but I'll rewatch the video.
Yes, it will always be like that when you join halfway, because you are having impression. Yes, we discuss a lot of things. That is why it's good for you to join on time so that you don't get confused. I understand. But when you get the video, most of the things we talk about there, they were the theory aspects. I think you joined when we wanted to start the practical. Okay, so if there's no
Please, can I
question,
make a request? Or I
okay,
should do it privately?
you can make your request. It might benefit someone else.
Mm, Please, can you send me a link to your last class for Excel so that I will know how to
I
open
can't, I can't hear you.
consider.
Please come again with your.
Please, can you send me a link to the last Excel class, the one you just finished now with these people?
Okay, the links. Okay, okay.
Yes, from how the so that I'll follow it I'll be able to follow it up serially because say my brain don't lost plenty.
Okay. So just remind me, but not. I'll try if I remember when I log into other system where I have WhatsApp, so I can just copy and send to you. All right. So if
All
there's
right, thank you, sir.
if there's no question, then we'll call it a session. So see you in the next class. Bye for now. Have a nice weekend.